So the next thing that we need to talk about, the next of these four components. So we've had E, elite hormone optimization. We've had D, dangerous man formula. And then number 3 is godlike sexual magnetism. Godlike sexual magnetism. Okay. Now, this is important because basically, women want. What is that? I'm gonna find some stuff to show you. Basically, women want to meet. I'm just trying to bring something up here. Guys who are comfortable being sexual, okay, and they're comfortable with their sexuality. Why is that? Well, firstly, because I can't get into this. I'm not a robot. No, I'm not a robot. No. Jesus. Why is that not working? Yeah, I mean, women, for various reasons, are going to be attracted to dudes who are more confident in their sexuality. The first thing is that women love sex, and particularly if we're looking at this short-term dating thing, that that they're going to want to get with somebody who knows what they're doing. All right, they're going to want to have the best sex they can possibly get. Okay, so if the dude is somebody who presents as being he's been around the block a few times. He knows what he's doing. He's very comfortable in his sexuality. He's not ashamed. He's not trying to hide his sexuality. He's not trying to sort of pretend to be her best friend or any of that. Then that guy is automatically going to be more attractive, particularly in a short term kind of a setup, right? Like, no question. Okay. And the second thing is women, and Paul often talks about this, women are attracted to men who are already sexually experienced. Okay. And if you present as being somebody who doesn't know what the hell they're doing as far as sex is concerned, it would suggest that you haven't had many partners, which would suggest that you haven't been selected sexually by many women, which would suggest that you are of lower value. Okay. So that's the turn off as well. But also as well, fundamentally, it's your job as the guy to make it happen for the most part. For the most part, you're going to be on the dates. There are occasions, obviously, where women are, they very forward and they push forward with things. But for the most part, your job as the guy is to move things in that intimate direction. Okay. And if you don't do that, there's a chance that you're just going to lose the girl because she's going to think you weren't interested, or you're a bit of a weakling and you were too afraid to escalate with her or whatever. Okay. And guys who are confident in this area of their life, they're going to be much more comfortable with doing that. All right. And one of the things that we identified, again, this is working with James, is that there's a lot of the guys that we work with, they tend to be, even if they are approaching, even if they are being social, they're going up and talking to women. Okay. What they are not doing is flirting. All right. What they're not doing is expressing themselves as sexual beings. What they're not doing, and Tom Torero used to talk about this, is being man to woman. Okay. You understand the idea, like man to woman, masculine, feminine polarity. It's like, no, I'm here because I find you attractive. That's the basis of this. I'm a man, you're a woman. Obviously, I'm here because I think you're attractive and you're kind of flirting. You're bringing that sexual undertone into things. A lot of guys just don't do that. Okay. Probably because either they are afraid to do it because they're afraid of the rejection, but also in many cases because they're carrying around what you might call sexual shame. Some things happen to them in the past. Maybe it's in their upbringing or their relationship with their parents or early girlfriends or whatever it is, whereby they are very ashamed around the area of sex. Actually, religion actually also plays into this as well. And so they're very reticent to be sexual. Now, again, this is all very nuanced stuff. I'm not talking about being crude. I'm not talking about doing outrageous things or anything like that. But you've got to have that twinkle in your eye, okay? You've got to present as that guy who, this isn't my first rodeo. I know what I'm doing here, okay? And she's going to feel safer and she's going to feel more comfortable in that situation. Because the one thing as well that women hate is awkwardness, okay? She doesn't want to be in some awkward kind of a thing with the guy where, it's like, oh God, have I got to make the move? Is he ever going to make the move? Like, what do we, that's just a no-go as far as women are concerned. All right. So you've got to be the dude who's in control, who knows about this stuff. Now, I've got a couple of articles. I did have something I wanted to show you, but I'm going to show you a couple of articles here. This is somebody called Girls Chase. This is a website. It's like a dating game kind of website. It's been around for a long time. They have some quite good articles on here. We don't need to look at loads of this stuff, but basically, this bit I think is interesting. It's a misconception that women are not attracted to aggressive men. And by the way, before anyone gets triggered, we're not talking about being physically aggressive here. We're talking about expressing sexuality. The truth, women go nuts for aggressive men who show their sexual desire in the right way. Okay? Have you noticed how well some guys do with women? If you're a nice guy, you might see these dudes and wonder what makes them so special and why women like them so much. Maybe you've seen them at nightclubs with a stunner in heels, or maybe you've seen your natural friend pull girls over and over again. The chances are that, even though I'm not talking about one specific man, you can still picture the kind of dominant, masculine, and ultimately aggressive guy that I'm talking about. A key reason these guys get women is because they show their desire. All right? It's very important. A key reason these guys get women is because they show their desire. In other words, they're not afraid to own their sexuality. They're not afraid to own their sexual attraction to the woman, okay? A girl may throw indicators of interest and other signals towards a guy, but if he doesn't show his desire, girls often move on. This is so true. Never has a truer word been spoken in the history of game. Well, it probably has, but whatever. That is very, very true, and it's very resonant. And this is a thing that I've certainly messed up myself many times back in the past. A girl may throw indicators of interest and other signals towards a guy, so she's interested in him. But if he doesn't show his desire, then girls often move on. Okay? So being comfortable with this, being comfortable with being sexual, being comfortable with being a man to woman kind of thing, so important. Okay? There's another key facet here. Yeah, this word aggressive is going to trigger people, but it's kind of like, again, as I say, it's just foregrounding your sexual desire. So they says another key facet here is that it separates the average guy from the guy who actually succeeds. Naturals players are men who knows how the game works, understand it's actually their aggressiveness, we could say forwardness maybe, that distinguishes them from most men. Their willingness to take risks with women and go after what they want draws women into their world, okay? That's the important thing. Take risks, okay? Because you're taking an emotional risk, or you're taking a risk with your ego if you kind of put it on the line with a girl. You know, you guys are out for drinks, and then you say to her, hey, listen, why don't we go back to my place, all right? Or even before that, you meet the girl you're talking to her, and you say, hey, listen, you seem cool, let's exchange phone numbers. A lot of guys don't even want to do that. I used to not want to do that. I was resistant to that, because if she says no, then you're like, oh, God, I've been rejected, and it feels bad, and you've got to deal with those negative feelings. But the point is, as it says here, it is those guys who take those risks who are ultimately rewarded in the dating process. Okay? You know, aggressive guys win far more than timid or nice guys. When a nice guy might get a shot thrown his way once a month, the aggressive guy creates opportunities for women all over the place. Absolutely. You've got to create your own opportunities. Why desire works, all right? So why should a man express his desire? Biological and social goals are very different between the sexes. Where men function on a physical realm and are attracted to beauty, women function on mental and emotional states and are attracted to powerful, dominant men. Women crave attention from powerful, sexy men, and a male desire supplies them with a range of emotional gratification. By the way, any questions, any comments on this, please put them into the chat. If you are resonating with this, please let me know. Please also give me a like and subscribe to the channel. Women want attention. Being desired is a female fantasy. A man who shows strong desire, you're making the fantasy come to life. Women want to feel wanted. Manly men, and this is, I think, important, aren't afraid to show desire. Women don't like nice guys. They go to all sorts of lengths to test how nice a guy is. Sure, women like guys who treat them well, but they don't like pushovers and weak guys who are afraid to go after them. The definition of a nice guy. Women will go to great lengths to test a man to see if he'll bend to their frame, and therefore can be categorized as weak. Women want strong men who will protect them, will fight for them, and will have the winning genes of a warrior. All right? Women desire to have the babies of strong men in the hopes that their choice will carry their own genes long into the future. Women test for this, and they want strong, aggressive men as a result. Okay? Imagine a warrior. Is he a strong, masculine, aggressive guy? Do you think he is a caring, nice guy who is afraid to show his desire for women? Of course not. All right? Of course not. So if you are acting as though you are afraid to, to even move things forward with her, then how can she trust you on the other bigger battlefields of life? Okay? If you're intimidated by her and you can't even ask her to come back to your place to share a bottle of wine, for example, then it shows that you're a bit of a puss, and that's going to be a turn off. Okay? So you've got to get into this mode of being prepared to own your sexual desire. And again, it's not like being all over her. It's not being a simp. It's not, but it has to be present in the interaction, in the chemistry between the two of you. Men go after what they want. All right. So, again, right. The guy who is masculine, who is alpha and all these kinds of things, he goes for what he wants, okay? And he doesn't make any secret of it, and he doesn't try to hide it, okay? And then it says, right, women respond to desire with tests, okay? So she's going to test you, and that's fine. The key thing really is to learn how to pass those tests. But I think that explains it really, really well. So let's have a look. Now, there's another article that they did here. Let's have a quick look at this about sexual confidence, because this is what I'm encouraging you to do to achieve sexual confidence, okay? He says here, the writer says, I wanted to discuss an important form of confidence that's rarely mentioned, but it's a key factor to your success with women. We're talking about sexual confidence, right? Which is exactly the point I'm making, okay? Sexual confidence is all about knowing that you can deliver in bed, okay? It's as simple as that. Whenever women end up with you, they know that they're going to have an amazing sexual experience knowing that you are good in bed, okay? So there is, there's a very base, crude sort of element to this, which is women want to have good sexual experiences, okay? You want to present as that guy who's going to be able to deliver that. So women love confidence, but unlike general confidence, where you're simply confident about yourself, this form of confidence is related to your abilities in bed. And then they talk about some various parts. Everybody wants to be sexual prizing. Sexual prizing is a concept that is based on women feeling attracted to you as a result of perceiving you as a good lover. This means that whenever you manage to communicate, either directly or indirectly to a woman, that you are good in bed, women will become sexually attracted to you, very sexually attracted. Everybody wants to be sexually pleased, especially women who unfortunately don't orgasm as easily as men do. So for women, it requires more, hence the importance of finding a man who knows what he's doing. Okay, so you want to present as a guy who knows what he's doing. Now, whether you do know what you're doing or not is maybe another matter, but you certainly want to present as that guy. I'm not saying make it up. I'm not saying to her, oh, I've had 1,000 lovers or anything like that. I'm not being ridiculous, but a lot of this is about the energy, and we talk a lot about energy and the vibe that you communicate. But this is a really, really key part. This is probably as important as the hormonal part, right? Because if you've got the hormones switched on and you've got the sexual confidence side of things switched on, and you present well and you come across as a kind of playful, interesting kind of dude, then you're really firing on all cylinders and you're really ahead of most other people in the dating game. He mentioned some other things. Sex talk. Okay, so not being afraid to reference sex when you're out on a date or maybe when you're messaging her or whatever. So how do you become sexually confident? Well, one thing you can do is you can get a coach, and we work with a coach, a guy called Bonaparte. He is a qualified sex coach, French dude, very, very knowledgeable about this stuff. So if this is an area where you are kind of, you're feeling like you're not up to speed, you can always drop me an email, troy@realtroyfrancis.com. I can put you in touch with him. I also did a course myself, actually, with Tiffany Fox last year called Magnetic Sexual Confidence to address exactly this issue. And we talked it through us, and we presented a bunch of lectures based on this stuff because again, so important, and it was really great to get the female perspective on it.